Welcome back to the Transform Talent podcast, brought to you by Talent Solutions. I'm your host, Georgina Huntley. Out with the old and in with the new. We all know the saying, but if you apply this expression to your workforce, you may well be missing a trick. Today, I'm delighted to be joined by Mayra San Felipe, Global Learning and Development Senior Manager at Schneider Electric. Schneider embraces a multi-generational workforce and has recently deployed a senior talent programme, which not only has helped people near or at the later stages of their career more and feel more valued in the workplace, but has also harboured impressively positive effects on the business as a whole. Today, we're going to discuss the value a multi-generational workforce can bring to a business and how programmes like those at Schneider Electric can make a difference in showing the benefits. Mayra, welcome to the show.
Hello, Georgina. Thank you for having me.
So Mayra, tell us a little bit about your career journey so far.
Sure. So I'm part of the Global Talent and Organizational Development team within the HR function at Schneider Electric. So as part of my role as Global Learning and Development Senior Manager, I work specifically on the piece about career development for all employees. So when it comes to my background, I have spent most of my professional career in the HR domain, having different roles, projects, positions, and even assignments in different functions like communication, learning, development, being an HR generalist, and also enjoying different roles at the local level, more working in the country, but also at the global level, and especially in the last year as part of one of the Center of Expertise, first in learning and then in development.
And how did you find yourself? How long have you been at Schneider? How did you find yourself with the company?
So I started my journey in the corporate world like 18 years ago. And actually I started as an intern. And then a few years after, my company was actually acquired by Schneider Electric. So technically, I think that we could say that I started as an intern in Schneider Electric. And here I am, 18 years after, being now 43. So when I look at my future and what is coming, I'm still super thrilled about the upcoming opportunities and how my company support people in all the stages of their career.
And what a perfect example of the support of multi-generational workforces. So from your perspective, Mayra, why is it really important that employers have to think differently and take a multi-generational approach to their workforce?
I think that even all start with the current context that we have now. So if we look at what's going on the market, we are now living in a context of really talent scarcities, skill scarcities, also population are aging, people are staying longer in the workforce, and they staying longer in the workforce is also directing the way we interact with our life and our work. So for the first time, because all these trends, we are seeing 5 generations working alongside each other in the workplace, or at least at the Schneider Electric, we have 5 generations working together at the workplace. And we truly believe that these 5 generations working together really make a difference in terms of diversity, different backgrounds, different experiences, different skills, different ways to look at things. And because of that, we truly believe that a multi-generational workforce is much more engaging, much more productive, and much more innovative, and can bring much more value to the table. That's why at Schneider, we really embrace a multi-generational workforce and harness the power of all generations.
100% agree with you. And across Talent Solutions and the broader Manpower Group, we're in a very similar situation with 5 generations all working. And what we're finding is, to the points that you say around the benefits that you can get out of harnessing a multi-generational workforce, is that we also need to be a little bit more intentional about how we help a multi-generational workforce collaborate in the best way possible. So there is a bit of a focus, or an intentional focus, of how we make that work the best for individuals across the generations, but also then in turn how it works for the organisation.
people in the near or the latest stages of their career can really bring a lot of positive to the workplace. So for us, they really bring a unique contribution to the business and to the workforce through their expertise, experience, and wisdom. Because of their year of experience, often this results in a deep understanding of the industry trends, best practices, and they have also built up their human skills and transferable skills, which make them invaluable guiding teams and making some business decisions. They also bring unique insights and judgments gained from years of experience. Last but not the least, they can leverage a strong network because over the years they have really accumulated a lot of contacts that can be really key for leveraging business development, partnership, and knowledge sharing. And I will add to this that they can also play a critical role supporting next generations. They can share a lot of knowledge, also mentoring new generations, and they also exhibit a strong leadership when it is more needed.
And I'm so glad you brought that last comment in as well, because that was one bit I was going to mention to you, is this real benefit that they can bring by supporting younger generations coming into the workforce. And what we're noticing as well is those generations coming through right now that were potentially quite impacted through the pandemic as well, and perhaps didn't have the exposure or experiences in the workplace. We're finding real benefit out of those mentorship relationships from the later in career workers with those coming through. So it's a really valid point. So many that there are, but there's a really valid point there in how they can support new generations coming through. Okay, so Mayra, what we're here to talk about is the Schneider Electric Senior Talent Programme. I've heard some really great things about it, but let's take it back to its initial conception. And if you can give me and the listeners a bit of an insight as to what were the triggers for building this programme out, and so where did the ideas come from?
Our senior talent program really connects with our philosophy as an impact company and is really linked to the framework of our people strategy and our sustainable strategy. So it really connects with two of our 6 long-term sustainability commitments, where we would like to provide equitable opportunities for all our people and at the same time harness the power of all generations. So with this framework, we launch our senior talent programs, who really aims at recognizing the contribution from our experienced talent and empower them to continue making an impact on the company while taking ownership in designing the next stage of their career.
So the concept of the programme makes absolute sense, and I can see where it really connects to some of your purpose and your broader organisational strategy. But can you bring to life or talk to us about some of the key components of what the programme looks like?
Yes, of course. So the program is really anchored on career conversations as the starting point, because we really want to be mindful of our senior talents' career aspirations. And no matter if they want to continue to perform, to accelerate their career, to transition, or to even pivot, we want to support those career aspirations. So normally, those career conversations result in a robust development plan that is supported by a portfolio of offers, among which I will probably highlight new contractual opportunities, opportunities for upskilling, knowledge transfer, pivoting offer, recognition, and financial planning, among others.
Okay, and what are you seeing what did you see in the offset as the key goals of success, or the key measures of success for this sort of program?
So from our side, we are tracking our progress with the program and our commitment with the program through our Schneider Sustainability Essentials. And we have a commitment from now till 2025 to make sure that we provide access to meaningful career development program for at least 90% of our employees during the latest stages of their career. So we track this progress every year, and we report it widely, both internally and externally, to show our commitment to the program.
Brilliant. And so where have you rolled it out so far? So you mentioned that, the concept started 2021. Where are you at with the rollout of that program?
Yeah, so we started working on the concept and the approach on 2021, defining the framework. Then we went for a pilot in 2022, onboarding some pioneering countries to test the concept, to get feedback from the ground. And then in 2023, we started our official deployment with a wave approach until reaching our ambition by 2025. So in 2023, in our first wave, we onboarded France, India, China, and DACH zone. And then for the wave 2 that started in the second half of the year, we onboarded North America, including Mexico, UK and Ireland, Pacific zone, and Japan. And we have just kicked off, as we start the year, our wave 3 with some European countries, South Africa, South America, and East Asia.
Wow, it's got some reach already. And what have you seen? You know, you've obviously had quite a few people already embark on this really exciting journey. What sort of successes have you seen?
Yeah, so this is the most interesting part and the most meaningful part, because we can really see how the program is really transforming and impacting the way our seniors approach life and work. So we can see some really great stories from Daction, where, for example, they have created an environment and opportunities for our senior talents to pivot their career. So we have some seniors that were before in the business and now they have moved to HR, or we have other seniors who express an interest in leaving a more meaningful legacy and help other growth. And they have been as skills as coaches, and they are coaching other people. For example, other success story that we can share is from Mexico, because they have developed a learning community called Master Jedi program, where our senior leaders can share knowledge and experience and mentor young talents.
The Force is with you, young Skywalker.
And at the same time, this program allows them to expand their network and even find new development opportunities for them to continue to grow at Schneider.
I love that concept.
Yeah.
That's excellent. That's really great. And I'm sure that sort of inspires excitement around it as well. Do you find that those generations outside of this focus group are reacting positively to the program as well?
Yeah, I think that overall the program, since we launched it, it has been embraced in a very positive way, not only by this segment, by the senior talents, but for the rest of the generations overall. And they are appreciating more and more this multi-generational approach, where we support every people at Schneider in the specific career stage that they are. So overall, the response has been positive so far.
So a great impact on your EVP and your external brand, as well as for those that are, already working for the organisation as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And actually, we have just launched our new EVP and our new values, where we say that impact starts with us. Mm-hmm. And the senior talent program is really a proof point of this EVP since the core values since its inception and its design.
It's really exciting. And you talked about your you being such an impact company and how the program connects with your people strategy. But how does it really connect to that broader sort of sustainability piece that Schneider Electric talks about?
Yeah, so from our sustainability piece, at the Schneider Electric, we have defined 6 long-term sustainability commitments. And out of these 6, we have 2 commitments. One is about creating equitable opportunities. And the second one that is about harnessing the power of all generations, that is really linked to the guiding principles of the program. We have also reflected this commitment even in our code of conduct. This is part of our trust charter that we share with our partners and key stakeholders. So I think that is really connecting both parts, people vision and also sustainability vision, which gives us an idea of the importance of the program for the company.
And it's so important that our employees more broadly can connect to those intentions as well, and the commitments that we're making externally through what we're doing from a people function as well. It's not just a business initiative. This is about our people driving the impact that we have on the organisation and also our customers. So it really, in simple ways, really connects well together.
Yeah.
So the program sounds superb. And, I personally, from the role that I do, I'm taking a lot from what you're saying. And we'll probably, really reflect on that and consider how we can do things differently as well, as I'm sure many of our listeners will. But what can we do, if we're thinking more broadly, what can we do to help remove this stigma that there is on senior talent in organisations, and how can we better communicate their value to future employers? You talked about at the beginning how we're in a position where we've got skill shortages, and there's an untapped talent pool there that we're not really honing in on. So how do we help really improve that stigma that there might be?
I think probably the first step for a lot of us is really challenging ourselves, our understanding, and also our understanding of the expectation and the value this population brings, because in some cases what we have learned through our journey is that there may be some bias, even if they are unconscious, around this population. So I think probably the first step is really try to embrace an inclusive mindset and adopt this inclusive mindset when we are revisiting our own decisions, when it even comes to, for example, hiring, developing, retaining key talents within the organization, and even looking at our process and our own behavior. So I think that starting by the mindset piece is really something that can really make a difference for this population.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. And for anyone that's listening, it's the mindset starts first, but then it is that point about becoming more purposeful in how we're addressing the different generations, and also looking at the different things that workers want at different stages in their career. I'm sure it's connected in the bio that we've got supported with this, but our seasoned workers report talks about the different things that those that are later in their career really value. And that may well differ from those who are early in their careers coming into an organisation. So as employers, we've kind of got a responsibility to acknowledge the differences and make sure that we're supporting all, so that we create that equitable platform for people to bring their best self to work and really be able to contribute value.
I fully agree with you. Yeah, I think that with the current changes that we can observe in the market and how the workforce is shaping, we really have an opportunity to rethink the way we attract, develop, and retain our talent across the different stages of their career, and how we can support them in a more meaningful way in alignment to their unique career aspirations and their unique lives.
So Mayra, we always like to throw in a funny question to lighten the conversation. I'm going to ask you, what's the weirdest food you've ever eaten?
The weirdest one?
Yeah.
I think that probably I will go for crocodile.
Crocodile. And where I'm really nervous about asking when and why, but tell me the situation.
During my honeymoon in Australia. So, you go there, you need to give it a try. So, okay, let's go for it.
I've just got images of your honeymoon being like totally Crocodile Dundee. Like your husband wrestling a crocodile and then barbecuing it.
And wearing the hat and all of that, of course, yes.
Brilliant. Perfect. Great. Oh, Mayra, thank you so much for today. That brings us to a close for today's episode of the Transform Talent podcast. Again, a really big thank you to Mayra from Schneider Electric for joining us and to shine a light on why it's important to have a multi-generational workforce and how it can really help businesses grow. To learn more about some of the topics we've discussed in this episode, you can check out our Seasoned Workers Guide. A huge thank you to all of our listeners once again for tuning in, and please do make sure you subscribe to our podcast on your preferred platform so you don't miss the next episode. See you next time.